Hi everyone, we studied last week about dual nature of radiation and matter, the first chapter of modern physics. And the second chapter of modern physics is atom. So what exactly we study here in atom chapter is, what is the structure of atom? Almost same thing what you have studied in atomic structure in chemistry. So whatever you have studied Bohr atomic model, same thing we will study here also. Questions may be a bit difficult. Apart from that, we will also study little bit about X-rays. That's it. So what we will study about atom is, what is the structure of atom and what are the fundamental particles inside the atom and how they located, where they located from the atomic models proposed by different people. So if you consider atom, there are three fundamental particles mainly: electron, proton and neutron. Later the people have found there are many other fundamental particles, but mainly we talk about three fundamental particles: electron, neutron and proton only. Now, so if you consider the atomic models, basically what we study is atomic models. So the first one, Thomson model, second one Rutherford model, third one Bohr atomic model. So there are three models, out of which 90% of the syllabus of this is depends upon Bohr atomic model only. 90% of the questions will come based on Bohr atomic model only, and 10% questions can come based on Rutherford atomic model. Maybe chances are there. Thomson model is just we will take an introduction only. So what is the structure of atom? To describe it, to explain it, there are different people have given different theories. So first one, what is the first one? Thomson model. What he said is simply like atom is like a watermelon. Atom is like a watermelon. And inside the watermelon, if you consider, there are seeds, black seeds. He compared like atom is like watermelon and the positive charged protons are embedded within the atom completely everywhere, and the negatively charged electrons are embedded within the atom somewhere, like a seeds in watermelon. So what is the first thing is, the electrons he said they are fixed. That is the main drawback. Rest of the thing you forget first. The first thing what he said is electrons are fixed. So it was completely wrong. So he couldn't explain the later things based on his assumption or theories or postulate that what is the structure of atom is like watermelon seeds. Atom is like a watermelon and electrons are like a seeds in watermelon embedded within it, and the rest of the portion whatever is there, that is positively charged protons. So that's why it has gone completely wrong. The next important thing is Rutherford model. Rutherford atomic model. This is one of the important. Rutherford atomic model. What he concluded, let's take first. First thing he concluded that, first thing, most of the are all the positive charge, all the positive charge located at center of the atom, and that portion is called nucleus. He said that when you consider an atom, the major portion contributed by the central portion called nucleus, where it is having completely positively charged protons. The complete protons are within the nucleus at the central portion of atom, and the major mass of the atom is because of proton, this nucleus only, he said. But he said like electrons are revolving. Electrons are moving inside. But he didn't specify how they are moving, what they are moving. So he didn't specify the motion of electrons properly. He said electrons are moving inside. The major thing what he found is this one. For every atom, there is a central portion called nucleus. There is a central portion called nucleus, and it is of completely positive charge. That is what major thing he concluded. And other thing he didn't specify 100%. That thing gave by Bohr atomic model. But here, how he concluded that thing is, he has done one experiment called alpha scattering experiment. What is that? He has taken one alpha beam. So he sent one alpha beam, alpha particle beam, towards a gold foil. What is this? Gold foil. Like you can take it like thin sheet. So alpha beam is coming. Beam means what? Bunch of particles. So like light beam means, last chapter we said it is sum of many photons. Now alpha beam means many alpha particles are coming together. So that is what he said, like a beam of alpha particle is sent towards gold foil. Now what is this here? Gold foil, a thin sheet of made of gold atom. Now here this is a sheet, means there are many atoms within that. Now what he observed is, most of the alpha particles passes through the foil. They come out, means they simply passes through the sheet. Most of the alpha particles he observed. But remaining, they undergone deviation from its own path in different directions. So one thing he observed, that most of the alpha particles passes through the foil. They just gone through their own way through the foil. But rest of them, they got deviated in different directions. When they reached the foil, they deviated in different directions. After passing through this also, they deviated. So what happened exactly, he studied and he gave some theory. That only Rutherford atomic model. So what he said is, from his observation, when alpha particle, of course alpha particle means I told you already 2 helium-4, but it is not helium, 2 electrons removed, helium-2 plus alpha particle means. Now such alpha particles are approaching this one. You consider any one atom. This is one gold atom. Every atom has atomic number. You have studied in chemistry. What you will represent that? Z, capital Z. Atomic number means what? Number of protons or number of electrons. Both are same in every atom. Number of protons and number of electrons always equal in every atom. That is, we represent with Z, capital Z. Now, here, when alpha particle is coming towards gold foil, alpha particle may come in this direction, like this. See, this is the center of the atom. Which atom? Gold atom. One of the gold atom of the foil. And you draw a line. You draw a line. This is the central line. Central line passing through the center of the atom. Now, here how many atoms are there? Many atoms are there. Many such atoms are there. Now, when alpha particle, one alpha particle you consider, when one alpha particle is coming, if it is coming towards the atom exactly along this central axis, then he observed that it went back, it reflected back like this. It went and came back. So he said that if the alpha particle is coming towards the atom exactly along the central line passing through center of the atom, then it reflects back. That is, deviates by 180 degrees. What is the angle of deviation? It was coming right. It went left. So what is the angle? 180 degrees. The deviation is how much? 180 degrees. Now, one more thing he said. Now you consider the alpha particle is not coming exactly towards center, slightly away. This is the central line now. Now alpha particle started here. It is coming in this way. So it will come up to some distance, then it will get deviate by some angle theta. Now the angle is lesser. And here when alpha particle is coming closer, then the deviation is more. When the alpha particle is going away, then the deviation is less. See here, alpha particle is coming exactly along this line. So that's why deviation is maximum 180. When the alpha particle is not coming along this line, slightly away, slightly away, slightly away. So what is this? This is the perpendicular distance. What is that? Perpendicular distance between central line and the initial direction of alpha particle. And that is called B, impact parameter. Impact parameter. It is impacting. It has some impact. On whom? Deviation. That's why it is a parameter who has some impact on the deviation. That's why they named it as impact parameter. We represent with B. What is impact parameter? The initial perpendicular distance between the central line and the initial direction of alpha particle. This is what. So the deviation depends upon also this B. And here questions can come based on one thing, that see, alpha particle is coming towards here as well as here. At one particular moment it started deviating. It cannot go closer than this distance. So when you consider this is the gold atom and this is the alpha particle coming, and up to some minimum distance only it can approach. Alpha particle can reach this distance. After this it may deviate like this, like this, like this, anyway. So the point where it will get deviated means it will come to rest. Because here we are sending alpha particle towards it. How you will send? How can you send one particle? By giving some velocity or by giving some kinetic energy, half m v square, where m is mass of alpha particle. So when you give some kinetic energy, here alpha particle get repelled by the atom. He concluded that the atom is repelling. That's why its velocity keep on decreasing, and at one moment its velocity becomes completely zero. At that moment it will get deviated. It will get deviated, and that deviation depends upon this one. And the moment its velocity becomes zero, at that moment the distance between alpha particle and center of gold nucleus is called R naught. What is R naught? Minimum distance or closest distance of approach. So alpha particle is approaching, but it is not able to approach less than this. It is not able to go beyond this. So that's why this is the minimum distance, closest distance of approach. It cannot approach beyond this. That's why distance is called closest distance of approach. Now how to find this R naught? They will ask you the question. Most important question based on Rutherford Adam. But before that, I will conclude the statement, whatever we studied first. What he concluded actually? Major portion of positive nucleus will be located at the central part here. So when you consider atom, central portion, when you consider, see here, this is positive charge. Alpha particle means what? No electron. You removed electron, only positive charge. Now when it is coming along the center, so it is coming towards positive charge. What is this positive charge? Nucleus. Then it will get repulsion. And when it is moving away, then the repulsion is less. See, when it is coming towards center or slightly away, still it is getting reflection. But here the repulsion is maximum because it is coming towards the positive charge. So as distance is going away, as it is going away, then repulsion is getting lesser. That's why he concluded that the major positive charge within the atom will be located at the center only. That's why the alpha particle gets its maximum deflection, deviation, when it coming towards center only. Because the positive charge is completely located at the center, he concluded. As alpha particle coming towards center is getting deviated maximum, he concluded that someone is deviating from here only. And who is that? Positive charge. And what he called it as? Nucleus. So that is what, based on this, he concluded that thing. And the question can come based on this thing, that is R naught. What is R naught? Closest distance of approach. How do you calculate? You will have to apply according to conservation of energy. See, first alpha particle is at very far distance. Only it has kinetic energy. Now E plus. There is no potential energy, no interaction. Now it is coming closer, closer, closer. Here velocity how much? 0. Now here kinetic energy is how much? 0. But here there is some potential energy, because this is one charge, this is one charge. It is the situation like this. Charge of alpha particle, and this is charge of gold nucleus, separated by R naught. Charge of alpha particle is 2e. Charge of gold nucleus. How many protons are there? Z. What is the charge of proton? E. So how much is the total charge? Ze. So Q1, Q2 separated by some distance. What is the electrostatic potential energy? In electrostatics we have studied. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R. Then R naught equal to this, you bring this side, 2ZE square by 4 pi epsilon naught E. Where sometimes they will give velocity also. So E you can write it as half mv square. So that you can find the R naught value. Most of the times if they ask question, they can ask based on this. The other question what they can ask is based on one small thing, that is direct formula I am giving, no derivation will be there. Remember that formula, that is number of alpha particles get scattered at particular angle. So how many alpha particles will get scattered through this angle? Approximate number, that is n of theta is proportional to, he gave the relation directly, sin power 4 theta by 2. We don't want any derivation, please make note. So this thing, based on this also sometimes they can ask question, like suppose, now I'll tell you, n1 is number of alpha particles at an angle theta 1 and n2 is number of alpha particles scattered at an angle theta 2, then the ratio will become sin power 4 inverse. So theta 2 by 2 by sin power 4 theta 1 by 2. So you can compare this thing. What is this? The number of alpha particles get scattered at two different angles, theta 1 and theta 2. So this is how, based on these two equations, questions can come. And other than that, one thing you have to remember, that what is the major conclusion is, according to Rutherford atomic model, there is a central portion within the atom where major mass and all the positive charge is concentrated, and that is called nucleus. That is what the conclusion of today's class. So the coming things completely we will study about Bohr atomic model and hydrogen spectra and so on, right?